Hey guys, Chokes here. Welcome to the Sea of Thieves video where I talk to you about what to expect in the first hour of sailing when you're new to the game. In this video, we're going to go ahead and assume that you've already done the tutorial that comes at the start of the game and you've just landed in the tavern in your very first sailing world. In this, we're going to go through your character, your ship, weapons, your first quest, and a few of the intricacies of the game and exactly what they mean when you come face to face with them. When launching the game, you will be greeted with this menu. There are two game modes in which you can choose from. The first being Adventure Mode, which allows you to set sail with your friends completing quests, and the second being Arena, which allows you to go head to head with other players in a PvP style arena. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be looking at the Adventure Mode. On the Select Your Ship screen, there are three sizes of ship in which you can choose from. The Sloop allows a maximum of 2 players and is also ideal when playing solo. The Brigantine is a maximum of 3 players and the Galleon 4 players. On the Select Your Crew type screen, there is either open or closed crew. Choose closed crew if you're planning to play solo or with a friend that you know, and choose open crew if you just want to be queued with random people. Just quickly, if you don't have any friends to play with but you still want to play with random people as such, I suggest maybe jumping over to the Discord for Sea of Thieves, as there's usually a whole variety of players who are looking for people to play with, and it probably takes out some of the guesswork when you press open crew. If you're planning to play solo, just press set sail, but if you want to add a friend in, press Windows G and make sure you follow each other. This is the weird Microsoft way of being friends, and get your friend in that way. Huge warning as well, as soon as you leave the session to join a friend or leave the game full stop, you lose your loot. So if you're mid-quest and you've got some chests, make sure you cash those in before you jump out and link up with your friend, because once you leave, they are gone for good. Alright, so here we are, we're in game. This is essentially where you'll spawn on one island or another every game inside the tavern. Heading outside, you'll actually be on the Outpost island, which allows you to do a lot of your buying and selling of quests and items. The first thing I want to show you is how to open your map radial as well as your inventory radial. So to press E and hold E on your keyboard allows you to open and interact with the quests and maps that you currently have active. As you can see now, because I've just walked out, I currently have nothing in that wheel. Heading over and pressing Q and holding it opens the inventory radial, which gives you a list of items that you can select and choose from. Just having a look at a bit of the equipment on that radial, the first one is the telescope, which is pretty self-explanatory. The shovel allows you to dig up chests that you may find from quests, and the last one is the lantern, which allows you to burn things as well as use as an illumination tool. To get your musical instrument out and annoy the shit out of everyone around you, you're going to want to go to the equipment reel and press more before finding your appropriate guitar and serenading them. The next most important one, probably the most important one, is the fishing rod, which allows you to then catch, collect and cook fish. Bring out and switch weapons by pressing 1 or 2 on the keyboard or rolling that mouse wheel. Now it's time to look at your pride and joy. Here before us we have a sloop ship, which is the smallest of the ships with only one mast, can be operated by 1 or 2 people. Let's jump on board and have a look at what we have. From the back of the ship and working our way forward, we're going to start with the sail height. Raising and lowering the sails dictates exactly how fast the vessel is going to travel across the water. Fully lowering the sails means maximum speed, and then hopping back a pulley to the sail angle can dictate exactly how the sail catches the wind, meaning that you can get an extra speed boost should the wind collect it. On this sloop vessel, the capstan is actually located behind the steering wheel. On larger vessels, it's in the middle of the ship. It is used to raise and lower the anchor as you need. When you're coming into park, lower the anchor to come to a complete stop. It can also be used by turning the steering wheel in the appropriate direction and dropping the anchor when moving to perform a sharp, sudden turn. No surprise here that this is the steering wheel. The gold indicates the neutral position. And note the compass on the right hand side, which will come in very handy throughout your sailing career. On the main deck you have your cannons. To load the cannons you need to go over to the cannonball barrel, pick up the cannonballs, put them into the cannon and fire away. Here you have your harpoons. Now you can either use these to help your steering, or you can actually use them to yoink your treasure back up onto the boat quicker. Climbing the ladder, you have your crow's nest. This can be used as a tactical way to look above the waves with your telescope, or it can be used to store your explosive barrels. So in the event you do get hit for whatever reason, you're less likely to go down. Here you have your voyage table, which is used to propose your quest to the other crewmates that you may have. From here they vote on whether to take your quest or not, and once started, it's go time, baby. Here is a very important map table. Interact with it by pressing F, and then search around the whole map of Sea of Thieves. Zooming in allows you to see the names, and you can also select items of interest and see where those are in relation to your actual vessel. Heading below deck, we actually have the brig. In games of 2 or more, you can go into your game options and vote to have certain people put in the brig or the jail. So if you have like a little 12-year-old that you just don't want around, get them out, get them out. Heading around the ship now, we actually have the water barrel, which is used in the event that your ship catches a light. You can use the water and your bucket to actually distinguish those flames. Next, the cooking station, where you can cook fish and grubs to then give you more health. And the food barrel, which you can take food in and out of because your set inventory on your character only has a limited number of spaces. Food gives you health in this game, which you need to have when you're fighting skeletons and other players. Next is the wooden planks barrel, which wooden planks are used for when you maybe have that crash or you've been hit with a cannonball and you need to block up those holes. Now we move on to the vanity chest, which is how you change your appearance of your character through tattoos, facial hair, makeup, whatever it may be. Next, the equipment chest, which is how you change the aesthetics of the items that you have in that equipment radial that we went through earlier. Moving around, we have the pet chest, which is how you change the aesthetic or the look of those pets that you might own. And finally, the clothing chest, which actually changes what your character is wearing. Sea of Thieves has taken the approach of giving you 4 base weapons and only being able to cosmetically change them. This is done through the armory, and you can also only have 2 guns at any one time, so you can change those out in the armory. The first gun is the Blunderbuster, which is a short-range pellet spread gun. The sniper rifle is obviously your long-range single-shot slow reload sniper. The flintlock pistol is where they meet with a single-shot medium-range gun. The sword actually has 3 attacks built into it. It has a left click slash, it has the block with the right click, and then it has a charge by holding your fire button. So you hold that up, charges, does a lot more damage, you can hit multiple skeletons at once, but the problem is you lose mobility for about 2 seconds afterwards. To combat that, you can actually right click while doing the left click charge, and that allows you to have a little bit more mobility while you're charging, but you still have that cooldown at the end. What I'm about to show you is a bit of an advanced technique, but boy, if you can pull it off, it is a whole heap of fun, and you can get into some real mischief with it. So when you get into a fight with another player, go ahead, board their ship, right, and go find somewhere where they aren't, so maybe the map table, behind the map table, and try sneak in there and actually use the emotes to your advantage. So go ahead, pop asleep, lie down behind the map table where they can't see you, so you're not there, they don't know, and then eventually you can either yoink the loot, or you can just sink their ship, go for gold then. It's a lot of fun. Now onto some Sea of Thieves world events that you might see throughout your time sailing. The first one is a skeleton fort. To see a skeleton fort when it's active, simply look up in the sky, look for the big red skull, you can't miss it. So what happens when this is a cloud fills over the fort island and it's filled with skeletons. When you're approaching that island, the skeletons are going to be firing cannonballs at you. First protocol, get rid of those guys. Dock, you're then going to face on average of 12 skeleton waves before versing 3 waves of progressively harder bosses. Upon beating the bosses, you're going to get a key to the stronghold. Make sure you go get all the loot that you can and take it to the outpost ASAP. As it is a world event, there could be people lurking, waiting just to take the gold that you've earned, so just make sure you check your surroundings and just beeline to the outpost once finished. The other main world event is the Skeleton Fleet. This is indicated by a red ship cloud up in the sky, and by sailing over to it, you activate the world event. There are 3 waves of 1 to 2 skeleton ships, and upon sinking the Captain Galleon, you'll be rewarded with your loot. There are many outposts in Sea of Thieves, and all of them can be used to cash in items from quests, get quests, etc, etc. It's also a good place to stock up your boat before you head out on your voyage. The first is the Shipwright Shop. The Shipwright Shop is where you buy hulls, masts, everything cosmetic for your actual ship when you go sailing. Coming back on the dock, we have the Merchant Alliance. This is where you can get specific quests for the Merchant Alliance tier. And if you have enough XP and you're up enough levels, you can actually get a promotion, which then allows you to get more complex and more interesting quests. Next we have the Hoarder. This is where you can also get a different type of quest, pick it up, go, and this is where you can cash in chests, etc, etc. Next, the Equipment Shop, which is obviously where you can buy cosmetics for your equipment, so you might get a new fancy compass, I don't know, whatever makes you feel good and helps you sleep at the end of the day. The Order of Souls tent is where you can cash in your skulls, and it also, like the Merchant Alliance and the Hoarder, is where you can get quests, get promotions. The Pirate Emporium, like the main menu, is where you can use real money to buy pets and other cosmetic goods. The General Clothing Shop is where you can buy clothing for your actual character and equip it there as well. The Weaponsmith Shop is where you can make that blunderbuss or that sniper rifle, take it to the next level cosmetically by purchasing upgrades for it. The Tavern is where you can fill up, have a drink, chat to some other players in a friendly atmosphere. It's where you spawn at the start of the game, and it also has the Black Market where you can pick up specific Black Market quests for doubloons, and it also has time specific cosmetic items there for purchase which will disappear and renew every 24 minutes. So now I think it's time for our first quest. So once we collect the quest from the outpost, we go back to our ship and propose it on the voyage table that we went through earlier. In this quest, we're heading over to Twin Groves, so we put our sails down, anchor up, and we set sail. Remembering once we get out into the wind to angle the sails correctly with the wind to get an extra speed boost. Your first landings at islands might be a bit rough. So remember to repair the damage to the hull, and remember to have your sails up when you come to land. You might have to kill some skeleton residents at the island, and then go ahead and collect the loot and make sure you bring it back to your ship. Once you finish that, X marks the spot. Get your shovel out, dig that chest up, baby. Then begins your voyage home. Park at the outpost and cash in the most expensive treasures first, as you never know who might be lurking, waiting to steal your hard work. Quest done, baby! And that's it. That should give you a brief and broad overview of your first time setting sail in Sea of Thieves. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and please press subscribe because I will be making more in-depth videos to more aspects of this game as I learn it, and so I can pass that on to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!